Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and I'm back with another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020 playthrough. We're down to the last 6 games of the season here for this Penn State Nittany Lions team, and after playing through, I think, the first 7 games, that last episode of the conference schedule, I thought, things were looking okay. We might be competitive. But we've dropped down again. We're 11-12 overall, 6-8 in the conference, with 6 games left. It's going to be just a miracle to finish where we need to finish, which would be we need to win 4 of those final 6 to give us 10-10 record in conference and 15 wins for the season. Looking at the standings, the goal from the board has always been to finish in that top half. I think 10 wins would do it, but like I say, I think the first season with this team we won 8 in conference. Last year we won 7. 10 would be almost impossible, and unfortunately there's the one thing that's glaring to me, and it's really the why our season is going the way it is. We're 11-4 at home, 0-8 on the road. We're the only team in the conference who's yet to win an away game. So maybe we're due. That's hopefully one positive way of looking at it. But the flip side really is, I'm going to go back to the dashboard and show you this remaining schedule. These 6 games are the toughest stretch we've ever had. First off, we're on the road for 4 of those 6 games. 5 of the 6 games are against currently ranked teams, including 2 against Iowa, who we have never beaten since I took over, and I think since we've even been, or since I've been simming, which is, I think this is my 6th season now total, since I started playing out this game with Austin Peay. And we looked at this earlier in the season, but this is kind of how it's been. Iowa 0-9, so this team has never beaten Iowa in the 6 seasons I've been running this playthrough. We've never beaten Minnesota. We're 1-10 against Michigan, 1 win against Michigan State, which is incredible, and then just 1 win, which surprises me, against Ohio State, because I think they're one of the teams we should be close in terms of the kind of seasons we've had, at least since I've taken over this team, the kind of talent, the kind of record that both Ohio State and Penn State have had. So it's a big surprise that the records are where they're at. And with the teams remaining, that's just to get 4 wins out of that schedule is going to be tough, and we can't even beat Purdue on the road. So we've lost to Rutgers on the road, Purdue. That's really been the bummer of this season, is we're just not even competitive on the road, and that would really turn things around for us. Had we won at least a couple of those road games, I mean, we'd be looking at a good chance of meeting the goals. But now it's not going to happen without some amazing miracle. And this is literally, you couldn't have asked for a worse way to end this season in terms of schedule. But hey, you got to play them out. You don't know until you play them out. But in terms of where the team has been, you can see we still got some relationship problems, but I haven't been focused too much on them because it's a lot of seniors who are really upset. And the ones I have been trying to keep an eye on, like the freshmen, I don't know what to do here. At least the coach relationship's not too bad with some of these guys, like Ratliff. I think they've got some team relationship problems. I'm hoping that'll go away when some of these seniors leave, and I won't lose some of these guys to transfer out. That would be terrible. And of course, a lot of that's going to depend. Am I even going to be back with this team next year? But that's something I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to, because a lot of times it seems like every time I do, try to address it with the ability you have to contact the player and get on them for their attitude. I've never seen that work. I've always made things worse when I do that. But in terms of the stats, I haven't changed the depth chart too much because I just looking at the insights report, I think the starting lineup we have out there and the way I've got the depth chart set is pretty much for this team anyway, the way I need to do it. But in terms of stats, not a whole lot's changed since the last episode. We still have our leading scorer is still going to be Robinson, who's senior small forward, and then A.D. Lee right behind him, who I've been playing shooting guard this year. One thing that's really been upside down too is the field goal percentage. We got a lot of guys here in the 50s, as you can see. Of course, those are the big guys, but game to game, we have a hard time converting on the free throws. I mean, we've had a few games where we're in the 50s, and it would have made a difference, I'm sure. But after Lee and Robinson, it gets really sketchy. I think Jennings, who is also a senior, I think it's a good thing that he's leaving if I can get some good power forward recruits in. Just 7 points a game, getting 18 minutes, which is less than I gave him last season. And that's mainly because of the way he was playing. I think this is the kind of player, if you look at what he did last season, I think that's what you're going to get from him. Just not good enough to cut it in this conference. So I've tried to give, down the second half of the season, I've been trying to give Reichardt more minutes. He's up to 12 now a game. He's not a good shooter. His free throw shooting's off. But, his size, he's getting close to the same amount of rebounds, steals, blocks, I guess, as Jennings, maybe off a little bit. But he's not going to be a scoring power forward unless he develops in the offseason. So I'm hoping, like I say, I hope I get a good recruit at power forward this year. And then Parks, just a sophomore, but he's been a disappointment too. He's got some room to develop. You can see he is not going to score a lot of points either. He needs to get a little bit better in that category during the off season, or he might be having to compete for a job next year with any recruit I get at center. He's getting over 7 more minutes a game, for instance, barely a point better than Sandin, the backup, and give me a good jump in rebounds, although Sandin might be giving me the same amount there. Blocks, he's not been the defensive player I thought he was going to be, but just with the way these two guys are rated, I think he gives me a better chance at center. But after that, I'm not seeing a whole lot of positives. I didn't mention Uche. I do like his assists per game, but he's not a scoring point guard. I've talked about that before. He doesn't give you a lot of steals, so I'm not sure how good his defense is, but he is a good free throw shooter for what it's worth. I don't know if he's good at drawing fouls. Go back to his player bio. He's very poor, so it would help if he would be a little bit better in that category. But looking at recruiting, I'll take a look there, and then we'll just start sending out the rest of the season. Thankfully, you guys gave me some comments and put me back on track with the recruiting because I was about to give up on that. I've still got several guys here at multiple positions that I'm working on. You can see a lot of guys in the warm, a lot of 3-star and above players who are in the warm. Some of these guys we're probably not going to get. Ted Brown, we're in his top 10, but we're low. But guys like Manny Dixon, who were second, he's a shooting guard, which we definitely need a shooting guard next year. He's a possibility. I've already given him a scholarship. Reggie Crawford, he's been moving up the line. I'm gonna pitch him when we get to that point in recruiting. I'm gonna visit him, try to get him a little bit, or get us higher in his list. Ted Brown just talked about. Davis, just one of the few options I had there at point guard. But there's other guys. Joe Wells, he's on our list now as a power forward, but I think we have one guy here. It's not showing up there, but I think we do have a few power forwards that I'm going to make some in-home visits to that I think, yeah, I mean, nobody great, but this Sam Neeser is one I want to really work hard on because he's in state. And I thought there was another one here, but I'm gonna try to work these guys out. I can't believe the guy who's let me go back here. So power forward, Joe Wells. Oh, he's just cool. That's right. So I need to work harder on him to get him interested, but still got some time, hopefully, to turn it around and get out of the six spots we have available anyway. If I get 4 that are rated around 3 or better, I will be happy. But we'll just have to see. And I do think, and I think a commenter mentioned it, these stars are not the only rating that's going to determine the player. I've seen it so many times now in the 6 seasons, just with this playthrough and playing it out outside this playthrough. You don't know what these recruits are going to look like until they join the team, and you start practice and you get your first true scouting report on them, and then further on, when you start playing them in games, any of these guys can develop if they've got the size and they've got won't show here, but they've got the skill ratings that you're looking for. All right, so let's go ahead and play some games. And in the first one, on the road against Iowa, I just hope we're competitive. It would be nice if this is the road game that we get, but you can see Iowa's having a great season. When I was with Austin Peay in this playthrough, Iowa won the national title at least once. They had a great season. We had another team incident. That's what I'm talking about. And it's probably the same players, A.D. Lee, and he's been trouble really the 3 seasons that I've been here. But let's just see if we were competitive in this game and maybe have something positive to look at for the rest of the season. 81-78. We scored quite a bit. We're not a high-scoring team. Went to overtime. Wow. It was 81-78. I'm sorry. I thought it was 91-78. That was close. Man, that's a heartbreaker. Thankfully, I wasn't playing this one out. That would have driven me crazy, but we had a good second half. A few guys here, Jennings, who I've been mouthing off on, double digits in points. Parks, another one I've been down on, 15 points, 4 rebounds. Lee, 12 points. And then off the bench, Sandin, good. Off the bench, 5 rebounds, 8 points. Ratliff got some time. Reichart. Those guys were in the positive, which is good. Peterson, this guy was a freshman recruit. I've given him minimal time. He's mainly because he's a disruptive force. I don't think he's going to stay with this team after this season. I think he's going to transfer out. There have been a few games. His outside shooting is so good, and his scoring potential is good enough that he's had a few games where he's come off the bench and hit like 2 threes or something like that. So that's been good. Man, this game, this was just down to the wire. Looks like points in the paint probably where it was won here. Their center had a great game, but I can't complain too much about the center play we had in this one. Combined 23 points, 9 rebounds for those 2 guys, but just wasn't enough. So let me go ahead and see what this incident's about. And it is A.D. Lee and Peter Peterson. Boy. This is typically the same storyline I get, that they're mouthing off about him, and he's telling the other player that the coach doesn't like him. I know this is probably impacting how they play. I'm sure that's factored into it. Eddie Perry's showing really. He's a junior too. His coach relationship's terrible because he wants solid minutes. Unfortunately, this guy has potential, but where do you put him in this lineup at this point when they're all kind of bad? But I had my shooters here are just in these three positions. Small forward, he's the odd man out. But looking at Lee, yeah, I mean his relationship's above 50. So do I really want to? I don't really want to get onto him, but I will contact him about his attitude. Yeah, your attitude has been lousy. No, that's it. All right. So I'm not sure what to take of that. Maybe it'll make some kind of a difference. Who knows? Oh, I'm sorry. I need to hit the button. So 5 games left now. We will have to win 4 of those 5 to reach our goal of 15 wins. Now, if we win 3 of those 5 and get lucky in the tournament, last season I think we won our opening round game in the Big Ten tournament. We could possibly get to 15 wins. Would that be enough to save my job? I don't know at this point, but we'll see. And I may have some recruiting notifications here. I think I had some guys scheduled either to visit or... No, it's just more scouting reports. So I know these are going to be... I mean, this is the toughest part of our schedule. We never beaten Minnesota, another team we never beaten. So here's Illinois on the road. Illinois is... I think we've played pretty close to them in this playthrough, but they're having a great season. Probably the best season they've had since I've been with this team. So that was an easy loss again. So 11-14. It's making it harder and harder and harder. That's a terrible way to end your season in terms of that schedule. So last year we won 7 in conference. I think we're going to have a tough time repeating that this year. 91-86, another close game, another OT loss. Man, you don't get those back. Unfortunately, I guess props for playing so well. We outscored them in the first half. We got some good play again from Parks, 17 points, 5 rebounds. Lee, 13 points. Sandin, man, the center play in these last 2 games has been pretty good. I mean, I know that's with OT added on there, but 27 points from the center position. Bailey, a guy who's unfortunately a senior. He had a good game for us off the bench. And then who is the other guy? Perry. He's the one who's really upset. Yeah, not much I can do about it at this point. Evans, player of the game for them, double-double. So free throws are a big problem for us. We 74%. That's 11 free throws we missed. They were 34 for 38. So that's where they kind of got the better of us. We outshot them, both with 3-pointers and regular field goal percentage. So that was a good game, but too little too late. And I'm going to look at recruiting while I can to see. I know we're still in the evaluation phase, so I wanted to get Sam Neeser here, a guy I want to find out about his parents and see if there's something about them. See, there's a little bit of a Penn State tradition, and I love to see that because I think that's worth something, hopefully. Now, I don't know if this guy, he's already visited. I'm going to scout him live, watch film. And then Tremaine Anderson, I need to just, I could maybe try a hard pitch on him, but he's going to be tough. This guy wants playing time and location. I'll try to see if he's maybe interested in conference prestige. Nope. Academics, maybe. It's very important to him, so I can pitch him on that, and that'll be enough for now from him. And then I'm going to move on to a couple other positions. Well, Joe Wells is interested. Let me get some more information on him because I'm starting to sweat the power forward right now. So program facilities is very important, as is playing time. He's probably going to get playing time. So that's how I'll pitch him when I visit. Now, I want to go back to point guard. I'm trying to work these guys as much as I can. One of the things I've noticed with the, I think it was Hawkins. I wonder if Hawkins would come to visit. No, he still won't. The point guards I'm seeing with this recruiting class, there's some good scoring point guards, but I'm not seeing too much on the ball handling side of it. And we really need, I think that's what we kind of need. It's crazy to me that we don't have anybody interested in point guard. And then shooting guard, maybe I can get a couple shooting guard recruits. Jim Gray's here, has moved up the list a little bit, but he's out of state. Marco Gordon, I can't get this guy interested, even though he's in state. Shannon Shepard is currently first, so I think I could, and he's got some good high school numbers. I think I could probably give him, feel good about giving him a scholarship. Cole Hamilton, this guy's just now showing up. I want to get him too because those will be my backup plans. A couple 2-star recruits there at shooting guard may not be a bad idea. That's his number one priority. And team prestige is at the bottom. Those are two good things to get because we can pitch him location. We can't pitch him team prestige. So Cole Hamilton, let's see if he'll come and I'll watch the film. And let's see if I got anything else here. Maybe center. Abe Gaines, another guy. He's third on our list. He might be somebody I need to man, he's on our list right now. I wonder if he would come. It's going to be expensive. He won't. That'll be it for now. But if my number one center recruit doesn't sign, and odds are he won't because he's out of state, he's one of the higher rated recruits I'm going for, but that would be a pretty decent backup if I can get the other guy interested. All right, so we're not playing here. I think we might have a home game coming up against Northwestern, which would be, one of our last best chance, I think, to win a game for this remaining schedule. Northwestern has been a team that we've been pretty competitive with. On the flip side, they're one of the few teams in the Big Ten that we've had some good success with. I probably just jinxed us, but I'm hoping that's the case here. So they're coming in 12-14, 5-11. This would be a big win for them. I mean, that would give them a tie with us. The way we played these last two games, we do win this one. This would be a terrible performance if we couldn't beat this team at this point. Back-to-back OT losses on the road. Peter Peterson injured, which not going to impact us too much because he's not getting too much time in that depth chart. 67-58 win. That's kind of been how our wins have gone. I think we're winning with defense for the most part, or at least low-scoring games. It was close in the second half, though. So player of the game went to Johnny Parks. He is he has had a good run here. 12.7 rebounds. Uche 12 points. Jennings just so ineffective. Man, 2 points, 1 rebound. Reichardt, not too bad off the bench. Ratliff, plus 18 in his 18 minutes. Bailey, senior. Maybe I should have given Ferguson or Perry, sorry, some more play time, but that was my bad, I guess. But look at the last 3 games from Parks here against Iowa, Illinois, Northwestern. It's getting good play time. Double digits in points, 7, averaging 6 rebounds or so a game. Not bad. Best streak I've seen him have this year. But once again, 13 of 23 free throws. That's not too good. We out-rebounded them barely, and just they had a poor shooting performance. That's how we won this one. So I think Minnesota may be next. I think it's on the road. We've only got a couple games at home left, and I know the last home game we have is Iowa, which, man, that would be a nice way to end it after losing to them in OT by 3 points on the road. I mean, that could potentially salvage something from this season. And we're going to have to go probably back to some recruiting. Recruiting is one of those things I kind of wish you could separate it in a way so that you didn't have to do it. So Cole Hamilton had a good visit. I just wish you could do it so you didn't have to constantly, go during the middle of the season, because I really like focusing on the games as much as I can. So Abe Gaines, who's been, call him up and see if I can get some information on his parents. We're definitely in his top 3. There's no more pitch areas for him. And I'm just working for these backups at this point. Michael Russell, we're his top 10. I'm going to start focusing on maybe some point guards here now. Kerry Harrington. He's come to the school. I don't think he liked the visit that he had. Paul Keys. We're in his list. Let me keep working him. Maybe I'll get him interested here. So all I need is coach discipline. It's very important to him, so I'll pitch him on that. I'm going to see if he'll visit. I know it's going to be pretty costly because he's out of state. But I like some things about him. Good score, good assist numbers there. He will not visit. And I'm not going to scout him live. I think that would probably not give me too much. Marco Hawkins is another guy that I've tried to get some information on. I'll try maybe some more information from his parents. And I don't think he's going to visit either. But we'll try it. Nope, he will not. Now, this guy, I haven't really gotten too much information from him, but he's from Connecticut. Just a 2-star recruit, but there's a lot of competition there. School, gosh. So, I'll watch some film. Do you see? He won't come. All right, so let's go to shooting guard. Where are we there? I think it was it Marco Gordon? I got a lot of guys here interested in shooting guard, and Manny Dixon. I don't know if he's the better recruit, really, of some of those. Will O'Kelly, man, we're on his list as well. I'm gonna bounce over here to power forward. Was it Joe Wells who visited? Yeah, this is where I get lost. Who was the one who Just visited. Cole Hamilton. Am I missing him in this list? Let me see. Was he small forward? No. Center? No. Wow. How am I missing this guy? Cole Hamilton. I mean, that's one of the things that is man, it's just okay, call and watch list. And you can't really search, I've noticed. There it is. Another shooting guard option. So let me watch some film on him. Well, let's scout live since he's in state. I'll get a few more pitch areas from him, maybe program facilities. He's done. So one more and I'll get back to playing the games. Let me try center. Mark Tyndall, Alvin. I never could get this guy interested. I don't know why. In-state. No, he still won't talk to me. Mark Tyndall, West Virginia. Let me try him again. You know, never give up. Hey, we got him. It's very important. Okay. So at least we got an answer to the call. So I'll do some working on him. I'll try to host him if he will. No, he won't. But we'll go back and work him a little bit later and maybe make a hard pitch to him if he shows some interest. So now we're going to be up against Michigan State, having another good year on the road. We need a surprise win here, and we didn't get it, but that's what we needed, honestly. Playing close, getting to overtime in those couple games was nice, but being winless on the road for a full season is never going to be good. You know, you're not going to be competitive, obviously. Not even really close. 13 points here, 79-66. We did play them close, I guess, in the second half. Lucas King, their top scorer, and they had double digits from their whole starting five. 23 points from Robinson. Is that a career high? Yep, that was his career high. Moves him up a little bit in points, just under 12, but he's been really so bad this last 5 games. 10, 7, 7, 7. He needed a game like that, I guess, but Jennings 7 points, 3 rebounds. Parks, Uche, Lee. Now we got Reichart, who, man, his team relationship's bad. I don't understand. He wants to play, though. I think what I'm going to do is go change some depth charts up here for the last part of the season. I know we need these wins, but, man, I don't think we're going to get them. So I'm just going to move Jennings and Reichart around, and I'm going to make Reichart the starter and give Jennings some play time there. Is there any other power forward that might be good to give some time to? I'll let him back up, and then I'm just going to basically swap it around, and then Reichart will be finishing up. So they give him 20 minutes or so down the stretch. I could do the same with Ratcliffe, really. He's got some good potential. Still just a freshman. Yeah. Maybe Radcliffe give him some extra time here. And so power forward. Wait, I don't want Robinson as power forward. I want Reichardt. Power forward there. And Jennings. I think that's going to do it. That gives Reichardt even more minutes. And let's see what we got for these next few games. Just hoping to leave the next coach with some better players. Maybe they'll get some development for them. 2 games left. Minnesota and Iowa. Both, well, no, Iowa's going to be at home. Minnesota, we've never won, as I said. And they're having probably their best season in this playthrough so far, and they win. So this is gonna give us our worst regular season since I've been here. So odds of me keeping my job are next to none. I'll finish out this season though, this episode, and I'll come back for the tournament play next episode, and then I don't know if I'll be able to tell, because you have to go through a lot of off-season simming, and that was a big loss, 18 points. You have to go through a lot of the off-season stuff to get to the point where you know what's going to happen for next year. Yeah, Reichardt was a dud. Just 6 points, 2 rebounds, nothing else defensively. Robinson really stunk it up. Parks, everybody but Lee, really. Jennings looked better off the bench than he usually looks starting. But he's leaving anyway. There's not much to get from him. Everybody got a chance to play in this game. Ratliff, didn't give me much. Gave him more time and really didn't get anything for it. So now, and I forgot there was an incident. I'm gonna guess this is probably Peterson. No, Eddie Perry and Robinson. So Eddie Perry, I think he is the one who wants the play time, and he's a junior. His coach relationship's terrible. He's not friendly. He's questionable, or, I don't really even care. So there was nothing really to be gained from that. But I may have several players transfer out on top of the poor season we're having and losing my job and everything else. It probably wouldn't be the team I wanted to come back to anyway, to be honest. I know some of you guys in the comments have told me like what kind of seasons you've had, what kind of success you've had. Keep those coming if you got more of them. I'd like to know how others are, what kind of time others are having with this game. Is it too hard? Are you able to get a dynasty going? Any of those kind of things. And we won against Iowa. First time ever in this playthrough, I believe. Yeah, I think Iowa was one of the teams we never won. So, wow, good way to end it. But like in those comments, just tell me what kind of luck you've had, strategies you may be using, anything like that. Because I've said this several times. This is I love sports management games on the computer. They're not the only games I play, but it's something that I've always really enjoyed. And this has been one of the more challenging ones I've played. I mean, I've played Football Manager, out of the park baseball. I mean, I've played, PC and console, all kinds of, franchises really. This has been one of the tougher ones I've tried to get my head around. And I think it's the mix of recruiting and, how you do your depth charts and, how do you match up those percentages? If you, like for me, I'm really just, I've turned to simming it out because I didn't really like the experience too much of playing out each game. But even with that, I mean, man, it's so tough to figure out, okay, what offense percentage do you use? Do you go with just two? Do you use three or four and mix it up? All those things I think play into this game, but it's really hard to uh, find some consistent. Well, it's going to be hard in college basketball anyway. So that's one of the challenges of college basketball is your roster's changing. Sometimes every season. But if you get a great guy who leaves early, right? But um, I was hoping to get a better run going with one of these teams, and I haven't been able to do it. But again, if you got anything in the comments, let me know. So there were a couple upsets here outside of ours. Um, in a way, Michigan State beat Wisconsin on the road, but Minnesota lost to Indiana. But this great win for us. I don't know if it's better than the one we had to start out with. Well, Maryland was a big win, but because Maryland came in ranked higher, but Iowa's had a great season. So A.D. Lee, player of the game, 16 points. Reichart looked a little bit better here, plus 20, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Robinson, Parks, double digits. Uche, 7 assists. That's another thing. When this guy gets a high assist total, we usually win. That's why I looked for that, I think, more than just about anything else when it comes to um, um, point guards. Like if I were to go, I think Virginia Commonwealth, we may have lost that game. Let me double check. But 10 assists in that game, no points. But when he plays well, we have a good shot. And anyway, like the Illinois went to overtime, and Iowa went to overtime. He had good assist totals those games. Wisconsin, 13 assists in that game. That's not one we won, I don't think. But off the bench, Ratliff looked good. Sandin ending his regular season career anyway on a low note. Not much good off the bench there, but finally free throws, 20 for 25. That was a good one. But we, when we win, we hold the other team down defensively. So that was a good sign there. But that's going to give us at least one more win this season than what we had last season in the conference, because we were 7-13. So that even goes back to that non-conference play, that pushover schedule. We came out of there 5-4. Man, if we were just 7-2, we would be looking at 15 wins going into the tournament. So disappointing. So I'm gonna take a look at the mail here. I don't know what we got in the inbox. Manny Dixon, we've got a signing. He is a 3-star shooting guard, regionally 14th. I still think that this team in this conference should be getting better recruits, but hey, I'll take it. So we got some positive news there. That means I'd like to go with, now that he's committed, I'd like to choose one of those other guys who are high up on the list at shooting guard. I think it was probably another 2-star. Jim Grays maybe. No, it wasn't him. Shannon Shepard, that's who it was. We're his top pick. I like this guy, for his numbers. C overall, good ball handling. He could possibly, decent free throw shoot. He could possibly fill in at point guard. So he might be the next offer I give. But what else we got here? Nobody's playing for the draft. Oh my gosh. We're going up against Wisconsin in the tournament. So Wisconsin this year, we were Indiana. That was that nice win earlier in the season I was thinking of. We lost on the road and beat them bad at home. That's true. If you look at the standings, Wisconsin had an off year this year, finishing at the bottom half, worse than us in conference. They've got a few good players here. William Watson, Kevin Winkfield. I mean, they got some 3.5 or better players at a few positions. Definitely got better depth than we do. A couple minor injuries to deal with. This would be nice if we could somehow, get a win early in that tournament. But that's not even though they're coming off an off season, they're not the team I want to face in that first game. Jeez, so that's gonna be tough. And even if we'd have to run the table to really get to 15 games now. Well, we'd have to win a couple. And if I don't know if the tournament's up there, but we'll take a look at that next episode. I'm going to go look at the polls right now to look at how the regular season ended, and then I'll call this episode a wrap. So we got Villanova, great game. Arizona, I don't know if it was last year or 2 seasons ago, they went into the final game undefeated. So I haven't seen that yet in any of the playthroughs I've done, but 1 loss, that's pretty good. Kentucky, Arizona, a lot of this Gonzaga back, high in the standings. A lot of the same teams. Brigham Young might be a little bit of a surprise. Lehigh, Kent State, those are kind of surprises. Utah State, few teams here, Mississippi State, few teams here that I don't typically see. And then Bubble Watch, I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of teams. Tennessee Tech, man, they have been really good in the OVC, which is where Austin Peay was for my last playthrough. Looks like they're leading the conference again. They've been in the tournament a few times, I think. So we'll probably have a decent showing from the Big Ten. I see Illinois, Minnesota, Iowa, Michigan. I mean, we'll probably have 6 or so teams there. I'm not seeing anybody that I'm kind of familiar with in the who's out, who's kind of on the bubble. But go back to the standings. I'm curious. I said I would show you that and be gone, but I'm going to go back to and Michigan. Man, Michigan finally put together the season, didn't they? 18-2 in the conference. But OVC, I want to see how my old team Austin Peay's doing. Not a bad season, 11-7 in conference. That's about where I left them. We were really competitive in that conference when I was there. I don't know if there's anybody here. Ike King, he was a recruit for me. Never did really turn into much, looks like. Brad Caspers was there when I was there. Had a pretty good year at center. Travis Hart, I think he was one of my recruits, and didn't develop into much more than a backup. Lewis Morton may have been another one of my recruits. He really did not develop. Jake Harriman, power forward. Looks like he may have been redshirted there at one point. I don't know if I did. I think I redshirted him. So his career wasn't spectacular. And he was one of my recruits. And I think that might be it. Curtis Riley, though, seems familiar, but no. But I was just curious to see what that team's looking like after I left. So that's going to do it for this episode. Next time, we'll go through the tournaments, and I hope we got a win or two left in us. Two wins left in us. And we might eke out a one more year from the board, AD, whoever's making those decisions, and I won't get fired. But I'd almost think at this point I'd have to win the tournament. I'd have to win the Big Ten tournament to even qualify, to have a chance. But anyway, that's for next episode. As always, appreciate the support, comments, likes, subscriptions, everything. And I'll see you next episode.